Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another video. So I wasn't planning on doing a double upload today, but we got some very important news to talk about. So let's go ahead and jump over to the forums. We have a balance update post regarding to Photon and Vox. Now, for 2023, we have had a lot of really great champs. Where's anime? There it is. And let's put this to 2023 for a sec. So many bangers, right? Now, out of all these champions, there are two for me that I have been really keen to find out about the rebalancing. And that is Gladiator, of course, because, I'm hoping that this guy gets a sick offensive tune-up buff and he becomes like a completely different character after the rebalancing. Kind of what happened with Shuri. So I'm really hoping on that. But I would say the second, most anticipated balance update that I've been keeping an eye out for is definitely Photon, because if you guys come to any of my Battleground streams, I hate this champion with a passion to fight against. I refuse to fight against this champion. It's perma-banned. I will just ban her, and that way I never have to fight her, and then it's never an issue. Obviously, that wastes a ban, though. So, I was hoping that, she gets tuned down so she's not as ridiculous as she is currently on defense. She can still be a great defender and everything, but, not so ridiculous. So I was hoping for. And, maybe then I could learn how to actually fight her and everything, and then maybe stop banning her, or maybe get my own and take her up. So let's go ahead and take a look at the update. So, hey all, Balance Team here again with an update on the latest round of champions up for review, Photon and Vox. So, starting with Photon. So, Photon has immediately made her impact felt on the battle realm. You think? She was aimed at being one of the toughest defenders, or toughest battlegrounds and war defenders that needed a hard counter. She did this by revisiting the ability to turn off decks. What a fun mechanic that is! Turning off decks. That's just something that we all love, right? Yeah, that just had to be brought back. Much like Heimdall, Domino. We all love Domino. Void, Jabari. While also adding some modern twists. Alongside defense, Photon was aimed at being a strong attacker, countering a lot of meta mystic threats with her neutralize immunity and sunder debuff. Looking at her data, she has clearly hit these goals. Because of that, Photon will be staying as is. God damn it, dude. Are you... Okay, what I don't get is there's a difference between, hitting goals. Let's say your goal is to sell 100 chocolate bars, right? Alright, let's say you sell 175 chocolate bars. You clearly hit those goals, but did you sell too much? Is there such a thing as too much? Is she hitting these goals so much so that it needs a bit of a tone down? I think so. But no, she's staying as is. And there's nothing I can do about that at this point now. She's just no changes. So yeah, I'm a bit bugged by this. But whatever. There's literally nothing I can do about it now. So the best thing to do is just get over it. So that's what I'm gonna do. And yeah, I guess the plan just remains the same. Perma-ban Photon going forward. And continue to never fight her. The only way that's gonna change is if I get a 7-star. If I do get a 7-star Photon, I'll definitely put her in my deck, just at rank 1, level 1. So that when I ban other people's Photons, it bans my own. So that it's one less champion to see in my drafts. But yeah, she's just going to be perma-banned going forward. I don't see myself unbanning her anytime soon. So yeah, I guess nothing's really changing for me in regards to this champion right now. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you love Photon? Do you hate Photon? Are you glad she's staying as is? Do you think she should have been tuned down a bit? And again, I'm not saying like she should, turn from Photon into Sentry, being a terrible champion. I'm just saying could have been toned down slightly, just a little bit, just a tiny bit. That's all I was hoping for, but nothing. So, yeah, that's Photon. All right, let's move on to Vox. So, Vox will also see no changes. They targeted dealing high versatile damage that was easy to access while still making room for skill expression to allow masterful players to take them into more matchups and squeeze out more damage. Vox's success against both tech matchups that highlight utility, like Omega Sentinel, but also in more general tough defender matchups like Thing, indicate Vox has all the tools at the right strength for long-term viability. So this one, yeah, totally cool with Vox. He seemed pretty good. I don't think I've played him at all yet, actually. I haven't played either of these champions offensively at all. Never one time. But, yeah, from what I've seen, Vox looks pretty good as is. I wasn't really expecting anything for him, so totally cool with that. And yeah, so what's next? All right, so with both champions needing no changes, we're happy to share that Luke Cage is getting a moderate rework. His timeline will look like 42.1 January plus 43.0 February beta builds, and then March full release with changes. So one final note. So it looks like they're changing the way they're doing these kind of buffs a little bit. So starting with Luke Cage, updates to old champions will also include a follow-up review to make sure they're having the intended impact. So this is kind of like Rebalance program is kind of extending to updates on champions, and I think the reason for this, well, there's two sides to this coin. You can look at it whatever side. I think both sides have merit, but I obviously think one side caused a little bit more to this, and what I mean by that is just Hulk. Hulk is a prime example of a champion that I bet they wish they reviewed for intended impact, because I don't think they intended for Hulk to be quite as powerful as he is. But on the flip side of that coin, if a champion is not quite performing as good as they should after a buff, then, it can be reviewed and maybe get increased. But like I said, I think the main implementation of this was for the first part that I mentioned, but I do think both sides of the coin have merit. So, for example, if we update an older champion's damage target, we want the opportunity to identify whether they're hitting that target or to adjust if needed, just like with new champions. Yeah, it's basically just Rebalance program for buff champions. This allows us to make sure the best version of that champion arrives in the contest. BAMF. So what does BAMF mean here? That is the sound that Nightcrawler makes when he teleports. It goes BAMF. So, Nightcrawler update in 2023. I think that's or 2024. I think that's a tease for it for next year. So yeah, that's all interesting. So what do I think about that? Honestly, again, this bugs me. You might be thinking like, Legacy, why the heck does this bug you? Luke Cage getting a buff. Luke Cage not that good. What could you possibly be bugged about with that? And oh, please, I'm so happy you asked. Let me tell you. So let me take you back. Oh, I don't even know. 5-6 years ago in the contest. It was right around the time that... No, I think it was after that. But basically, when buffs started, they did 2 at a time, and it was usually champions of the same class. So one of the first ones that they did was Venom and Carnage. They got buffed a long time ago. I remember they did Spider-Gwen and She-Hulk together. But I think before that, they did Luke Cage and Red Hulk together. Both those champions were buffed. Believe it or not, Luke Cage, right now, he's an alright champion. He used to be 10 times worse. Luke Cage used to be way worse, and so was Red Hulk. And now, like 5 years later, they're buffing Luke Cage again when there's other champions that have never been buffed, that have always sucked, that are not getting touched. That's what bugs me. And also, what class does Luke Cage belong to? The science class, aka the best class in the game right now. So why Luke? I really wish we could vote for buffs. this is the kind of stuff that I don't like, where, you know, we as a community, we just have no say in any of this kind of thing. It's like, Kabam just picks. What champion should we buff? They just pick. I don't like that. I don't get why it's Luke Cage. Like, I can make a better argument for at least 5 other champions that deserve a buff more than Luke Cage. I can do it right now. Let's go to Aunt May. Let's take us off 2023. Let's put this to some classes that haven't got a ton of buffs. Mystic. Dude, Iron Fist deserves a buff way more than Luke Cage. Plus, he's Luke Cage's homie. I'm sure Luke Cage would be like, you know what? I've already had one buff. Let my homie Danny Rand get this one. I'm quite confident Luke Cage would say that. Luke Cage is a G. His boy Iron Fist needs some love, dude. Like, for real. Not to mention Immortal Iron Fist. Like, this guy. They suck. Shout out to Jive. He likes Immortal Iron Fist. But yeah, Mystic. Like, there's so many other champions. Cosmic, bro. So many champions here. Groot. We would all love a Groot buff. Every single one of us. Especially Lefty. Tech. Dude. Iron Patriot. This guy needs some love. He really does. He really, really does. Skill. Let's see. Who could use a buff here? Dude. Daredevil. OG Daredevil. Oh, this guy used to be one of my favorite champs in the game. He used to have like one of the best block proficiencies back in the game. Back like 2016 era. He used to actually be a good champ, man. Ah, I would love for Daredevil to just get a sick rework, dude. I would love that so much. But no, it's Luke Cage for the second time in the science class. Like, I just... Why? It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, guys, that is the breakdown on this new balance post. Photon staying the same, Vox staying the same, Luke Cage getting a moderate rework, plus champion buffs are kind of being treated similar to the rebalance program going forward now. So that is pretty much going to go ahead and do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think about all this, about Photon specifically. I want to hear your thoughts and feedback on that. Do you think I'm being unreasonable? Let me know what you think. Do you think this is fair? Do you think it's valid? Do you think should have been toned down a little bit? What do you think about Vox? Do you think he should have been tuned up a little bit? Do you think his degen is too powerful? And what do you think about Luke Cage? Let me know in the comment section down below. Plus, you know, this whole thing with Nightcrawler maybe getting a buff too. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. Drop a like if so. Subscribe if you want to see more content. Thank you so much for watching. All love and support on the channel. It's been going nuts lately. Peace out.